Alright, well, first off, thank you guys who informed me that that video did upload. Um, yeah, I didn't fucking remove it, but I definitely didn't see it here anymore. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, I thought maybe I was outside when I made it. Maybe the Wi-Fi dropped and it didn't upload. Um, wait, okay. What the fuck? Alright, whatever. Well, let's get into it. Yeah, my shit was straight up fucked with. I don't know how and I don't know why. Um, yeah, but my microphone was deactivated for every app that could possibly record. The only way to do that is to go into the actual settings and manually go through each app and deactivate the microphone. Um, so I did that because I kept trying to open up my UI to record, and it kept saying that recording and audio has been disabled for this application. So then I turned it on, and then when I tried to start my UI again, I didn't get anything. I didn't get no interface. I didn't get any pop-up to let me know that I can't do shit. And I could not figure it out for the longest time. I reset my computer. Nothing. Still wouldn't come up. I uninstalled the fucking programs, reinstalled them. Still couldn't do nothing. And then decided to go look at my BIOS system to see if there was some sort of corruption or whatever, because I don't have malware, I don't have fucking viruses. My shit stays up to date and in top shape. Like, I mean, I'm in school for a fucking IT degree, so I don't fuck around when it comes to my computer. And this ain't no shitty laptop either. This is almost $1,000 fucking laptop that's made for gaming and media and shit. So it's very abnormal. But yeah, I decided to check out the BIOS system to see if there was some sort of corruption, and my fucking drivers were disabled. Um, I don't know if anyone knows what drivers are, but or if you know what a BIOS system is and what it does. But yeah, my audio and recording, webcam, and my USB, all my drivers were fucking disabled. At least they weren't corrupted, which was good. But that, yeah, like you have got to have some serious computer knowledge and know how to get into somebody's BIOS and know how to disable that type of shit. Um, I mean, a quick Google video could show you how, but to do it remotely, you would have to fucking have some serious fucking know-how. Uh, so, whatever. I mean, it's fixed now. It's working. It's good. I did a lot of talking about the government in that video that was like 30 minutes long and silent. So I don't know if that was the case. I'm going to try to keep it short. I kind of want to talk about as much as I can because I don't know if I'm going to upload this one and something else is going to fucking happen. I don't know. A couple things to go over. Nobody has a channel like this, so let's understand that. There's no one you can go watch that watches this every day, that points out, certain signs of manipulation. I'm sure most of you at this point, if you watch me long enough, you could probably look at a chart and you can see where the shorting takes place, even in these little instances here. You can see the little bullshit, double boxy, it doesn't look like there's any sort of pressure against it ever. It's just, you could probably pick it out if you've watched me long enough. The pattern is easily recognizable. Uh, but I was just going over that. I was talking about that. Like, I don't understand. Like, why does no one else have a channel doing this? Like, really has been looking at this stock, trying to figure out their moves, how the manipulation's occurring. Just studying the whole environment of it. And I can't be the only one. So I don't know if I am or if other people that talk about this are shadow banned too, because I know that I'm shadow banned. My subscribers have told me, dude, I'm notified. I got the bell clicked, but your videos don't show up. I have to actually look you up. That's shadow banning. That shouldn't be happening. This channel had like 30 some subscribers and was a gaming guide channel prior to me doing AMC, and I never had any of these issues. I never had issues where comments didn't show up. I never had issues where I wasn't told I had new subscribers. I never had instances where my phone would recommend I watch my own videos that I just fucking uploaded. That was the weirdest thing that started happening. Like, it's my same YouTube account. How do you not know that that's my video? What the fuck do I need to watch it for? I made it. So that all was very strange. But still, maybe there are people out there with shadow banned too, because I just don't understand how no one ever wants to talk about the manipulation. All those guys, every one of them, before June 2nd, were talking about it and the naked shorting and the manipulation of the stocks and all that shit. And once June 2nd happened, like they all wouldn't even say the word manipulation ever. Very rarely. And you may have seen a video here or there. Very, very rarely. The only time anyone talked about some manipulation was right before their channels got fucking canceled by YouTube, and then they had to come back with a vengeance after making a huge social sentiment of the thing, so that more people, came in and felt sorry for them. It was like, I'm so sorry, I stopped watching you. I'll watch you again. Oh, you have 3 other channels. I'll subscribe. I'm so sorry. I feel bad. That dumb shit. But still, it was just like, because I've watched this for so long and seen it for so long, like yesterday I was talking about Wednesday. That was so, there was a day in fucking May, and one in April that was exactly like that. Like, it was just such a battle. The one in May, we were like fighting to get to 14, and I mean fighting to get to fucking 14, and they were not having it. Like, they were just trying to short. It was almost an hour-long battle of just buying and shorting and buying and shorting, and it was just crazy to see. And I was just like, okay, well, wow, 2 weeks ago, they could have just started out the day and fucking crushed this thing down, and no one had done anything. There was very rarely any buying pressure like that you could literally see fighting against the shorting. So, and on a Wednesday, like that, just let me know that this has definitely changed. They're not shorting to the extent that they could and used to, for whatever reason. That's something else I want to find out. Is it because of the 25x margin requirements that are going to be enforced soon, or what is it? What's their reason? Have they ran out of that option? Have they just covered so much to stay net neutral that if they keep fucking around, they're going to actually have to start closing these positions? I don't know. But I realized no one else is fucking out there, like, helping me find those answers. Like, those are the answers I want. That's what I want to know. I want people digging into that shit. Trying to find the hidden answers that no one seems to be concerned with finding, and I don't understand that. That's what makes this so weird. Like, this was so easy to call yesterday. This was probably the easiest call I've ever made with this stock. Even, the few days before we actually did see a legitimate turnaround, when I told y'all this thing feels different. It feels like it's turning around. I can't explain it because you can't see what I see. You haven't watched what I've watched. So you're not going to understand it. Like, the best analysis I can give, or fucking, comparison I can give, is I drive an old Chevy truck. And it has a fucked up sensor on the transmission. It's 20 years old and has almost 300,000 miles on it. I've never in my life seen a Chevy last that long. That wasn't a diesel. Never in my life. But, I have a mechanic background. I know how to take care of vehicles, but it's the original engine, original transmission. And I've been driving it for a long time, so I know how to drive it, and I know what that is. Initially, when I first jumped in it, I was like, oh, great, the transmission's fucked up. The transmission's messed up. But then I remembered there's a sensor on it. I don't feel like going through the hassle of changing it because it's not necessary, because I know the ins and outs of my truck. I know the ins and outs of the system, and I know how to control a transmission. Even you can do this in a manual transmission or an automatic. There is a specific RPM that you have to be at. When you're at that RPM, your clutch you won't need to like push the clutch in on a manual, and the clutch will automatically slip the gear into place flawlessly, because that's where it's set in the RPMs to be shifted. So if you ever had like a clutch problem or something that's not shifting right, if you're in a manual, you don't need to actually push the clutch in. If you know where that RPM is, and you can find it just by, if you're in first gear, you would just basically pull down into second and get it up to whatever RPM it needs to be at, and it'll slip into gear without ever having to push the clutch. Do the same thing with an automatic. So I know how to drive it that way. But if someone else were to jump in my truck and try to drive it, they'd be like, "Oh, dude, this is fucked up. This is messed up. The transmission's bad. Like, I don't understand. Like, how are you driving this? This should be blowing up. This should be fucked up. How do you know when you, that's the same thing, I've been driving it longer. I know, I've been doing my due diligence on it, so I understand it. And, you jump into it now and you drive it once and you're like, oh God, this is fucked up. This is going to blow up. This is really, really bad. I'm like, not really. Not if you know what I know. If you know what I know, it's a perfectly drivable vehicle. You just have to keep monitoring it. You just have to keep paying attention to it, um, you know, and just always remember what's going on with it so that you don't fuck it up. I mean, I could change the sensor, but I don't feel like it. It's an old truck. I didn't buy it to put a bunch of fucking money into it, and that's not a cheap sensor either. Anything with transmission isn't cheap. It's a lot cheaper to just know the innards and outs of it and know how to make it work with the knowledge that I have. Plus, if anyone tries to steal it, they're going to assume it's fucked up and they're probably not going to want it. So that's always great too. But it still just blows my mind that I am who I am. I'm not the smartest dude in the world, but I'm not the dumbest. I do have an uncanny ability to notice patterns, especially in data analytics, anything with computers. I just have weird ability to recognize patterns. There are guys at the SEC and around the world that are trained to recognize manipulation, trained to recognize computer patterns that shouldn't be, doing what they're doing. And I know if you believe for 1 second that the SEC doesn't have at least one guy, if not a group of people that are monitoring this and GME every single day, you're crazy. I mean, it's the most talked about stock by millions of people. It is just people screaming about the manipulation in it, and that's the SEC's job, to look into that shit. So that's even more of the reason why I believe the government is 100% managing this, controlling this, involved in this, because the SEC is out here handing out speeding tickets to people that participated in insider trading years ago. And that's what they're doing. And this gigantic thing in your fucking face, and you're just sitting on, not necessarily sitting on their hands, but I think they're really only allowed to do so much. They looked into the dark pools and said they were, and now the dark pool volume has gone down. It's gone down from over 70% to like 54, which is good. And that could be, that's another thing, trying to figure out why this environment's getting back to normal, why it's becoming profitable again. That's part of it, Now we're about half of the volumes being routed off exchange instead of 3/4 of it. So that makes sense. But it's answers like that I'm trying to find. Like, why aren't they shorting like they were? Why? What's the reasoning? Is it because of the margin shit going to be enforced? 25x? Are they out of shorts? Is it like, why is no one trying to find these answers out anywhere? But this shit, like, this was so easy for me to call because I've seen it before. I've seen it back in May. I've seen them do the same thing. To keep us from getting to 14, they did it. And I knew they were going to do it here because they needed to get to 35. And they exhausted so much motherfucking shorts yesterday, and I'm sure they have an allocation, at least at this point. Now they have an allocation of shorts they're allowed to use throughout the week to keep them from, having to close positions, to keep them covered, keep them in net neutral position. And it was just obvious. This is so obvious to say, yeah, that's the only move they have, is to open up the day and kick this down under 35 and then figure out what to do from there, that's what this is, figuring it out, just stalling. Little shorts here, keep it around 35. And then very intelligently, let's hit them with a little bit of shit. Let's borrow some shorts today, hit them a little harder, and see if we can shake some sell-offs, thinking that this is trending downward. It's going to be a red day. They already know there's a bunch of people day trading it that have been day trading it, so why not get them to pull out and see where this is going to go? And they did. Like, you can see it in the pattern. You can see where the shorts are, but you can also see, like, through here, this is buying or selling pressure, normal selling pressure, normal selling pressure. They got some people to shake out, and then, return some of those little bit that you just fucking borrowed and give them back. In an average short position, if you go look at any other stocks and in normal scenarios, the average shorts for the most part are only held for half a day to 2 days. That's it. It's usually a quick play. It's a get in, try to drive the stock down a little bit and get some people to sell, and then get out and then buy them back and make a quick buck. Um, that's typically how short positions work. And then you end up in this bankrupting position where these motherfuckers, that was their goal, to bankrupt this, which is how you know that there is naked shorts. That is when naked shorts happen the most. That's when they've been most malicious. That is documented all the way back to 2004 and 2008, 2009, 2010, 2013, 14, 16, 18, 20. I mean, there's documents you can read everywhere from people in the market, in financial institutions that have been there for decades, that wrote to the SEC and commented on certain rules about this shit and went into detail about how they did it with puts and calls and other just various forms of severe naked shorting because they intended to bankrupt the company. And when they do, they don't have to give them back. They own the company, and no, there's never an investigation. And this was the original play, which is why naked shorts and shit are very, very likely. How many? No one knows. I don't fucking know. I would imagine it's at least, probably 2 to 3 for every one real share. I would imagine that that's probably a legitimate, safe bet. People think it's 10 for every one. Some think it's 100. There's people that think it's 1,000 for every one share. But no one fucking knows. No one knows. I do know that Citadel dropped down to number 5 on the list of top shorts in AMC. The number one short has like over 3 times the exposure that Citadel does in short positions. So remember, like I was saying, we have no idea if Citadel's our number one enemy, but we're being told to fight them and to hate them and to focus on them. And they're number 5. The information indicates they've been unwinding their short position. Now, as far as their calls and puts go, they definitely are very much set up in a naked short position, and it's a lot. But, you know, still, it's looking for these answers, and that's all I'm trying to do. But, my focus right now is making sure this is profitable again. I already saw the turn coming. A few days later, it is turning. It's green. It's fucking, we can make money now. Options change consolidated. Their volume's coming back. It's returning to a profitable stock. Whether it's a ploy or not, we don't fucking know. So I'm saying take it day by day. But so far, every bit of money I put into it has reacted as it should for the most part in a normal stock. It still feels like there's some volume and volatility missing, like quite a bit missing, that should be pumping up these contracts more. But still, there's ways to make money in it now, which there has not been for almost 2 months. So that's a good sign, and that's all we need to be focused on. We can make some money in it. Hopefully it ends up being sustainable, and we can continue to make money in it and find more ways to make money in it. You just got to be careful. This ain't no YOLO play yet. This ain't, oh yeah, dump it all in now. No, little by little. And just make sure you know when to walk the fuck away. Just make sure you know when to walk away, whether it's with profit or whether it's at a loss. Know when to get the fuck out. That is so important. You got to know when to do that in everything. Just finances, relationships. If you don't want to get fat, you got to know when to say when with sugars and bad foods and soda and shit. You just have to know when to get out, when to say enough is enough. Whether it's profit, whether it's loss. Don't get back into that fucking June 2nd mindset. Just don't. Where you're like, I know this is going higher. I know it's dropping now. I know it's dropping now. I know I've just lost half the value, but I know it's going to go higher. Don't fucking do that again. Just don't. Take your profit. Sit on the sideline if you have to for a minute. Wait and see what it's going to do. If you're losing, make sure you have a percentage. If you paid $100 for something and it loses half the value, and make that your point. Be like, nope, I'm done. That's half as good. Hopefully I'll make half back somewhere else, but I'm going to take that. And don't sit around waiting for shit to go to zero again. Just don't. Get back in that mindset. That's all I want to do is just make sure enough people are thinking more intelligently about their options and their stocks and their investment as a whole. And you should be looking elsewhere too. You should be anyway, I'll go over that in a second, but still, My point is just that I shouldn't be the only person talking about this. I shouldn't have been the only person that was like, oh, dude, I guarantee you tomorrow they kick this down under 35. Like, more people should have known that, said that, been talking about that. It was obvious. Like, to me, it was super obvious that that was the only play. That's the only move you got. If you want this under 35, based on the way you've been playing all week, that would be your only option. And the fact that it didn't get kicked straight down to 33, where I knew they were going to try to get it to go, um, that's again, that just tells me that this whole environment is different, um, and that something is going on. Something is going on with hedge funds and shit, and they're shorting. They're either, this could very well be Citadel getting out. This could be that. This could be them not shorting like they were, and they're just unwinding now. They're like, fuck it, I'm out. Could be. They're number 5 on the list now. Number 5. Number 1, 3 times more short exposure than them. There's a lot of different things it could be. And that's what's blowing my mind is I have not come across another channel of anyone even attempting to find that shit out. It's everyone talking about the same thing, showing Reddit DD that's old or has already been discussed or that doesn't really make legitimate sense. Yeah, it's just crazy to me. I don't. Maybe they're shadow banned for real. Maybe they are. Maybe like me, they're shadow banned. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But again, back to options and shit. I had to take a loss today because, yeah, even though I had a feeling this was going to happen and I said this was most likely going to happen, I still got an option just in case. Just in case this happened and it continued to run, there was a lot of buy pressure in here, which was probably this, whatever the fuck this was, and they were trying to stop that. I said that too. I said this thing might want to run tomorrow and it might cost them quite a bit of shorts to keep it down so that it doesn't run. Because this could be, volume coming from all those chopped up fucking dark pool routes that they did. And it's coming back every day now. There's no way to stop it other than this. um, but we'll see. But still, I had a loss today. I had to take a loss on one of my contracts. I just had to cut it because it obviously was dying. Didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but still, this is why you have to be aware in the market, not just looking at AMC, because I was looking at Macy's. I saw this move happen early in the pre-market, and that was something worth keeping an eye on for me. So I watched it this morning, and it started going up. Went up over a certain percentage, and I was like, well, that looks good to get in. So I spent like fucking, I don't know, $130 on 12 contracts or some shit. And by the time we got up to like here, I was up 250% on those contracts. And of course, right in this time, I also started making that video that ended up being like 30 minutes long, and then fucking it was silent, and then I got told it was silent, so I had to look into that, and then by the time I got done looking into that and trying to figure shit out, it was down to here and had lost 200%, so I was fucking livid. But I didn't let it AMC me. I almost did. I almost was like, fuck it, I'm selling because it's dead, it's dying, because that's what AMC does. But I didn't. I was like, nope, remember, this isn't under attack. This isn't being maliciously manipulated. This is normal. This is people selling off because there's a good percentage from the beginning of the day. There's day traders selling off, taking profits like normal. Give it a minute. See if it turns around. Look at your MACD. Check out your indicators. This is a normal stock. And sure enough, I did. And by the time it ended today, it was back up to like almost 100% on the day, which is great. And hopefully it doesn't get like tanked in the pre-market tomorrow. This is actually good. This is up higher than where it closed. Yippee fucking ki-yay. That's good shit. I hope it opens up and blows up tomorrow. That would be fucking awesome. Oh my God, that would be awesome. I really need that. I need a big fucking play. This has been like a stagnant-ish type week. Last week was fucking brutal, terrible. The week before was great, but then last week happened and fucked shit up. So this would be really, really good. Like, God, I need this, dude. I need this. You know I need this. You know I do. Man, I hope that shit goes up high again. But again, there's a very good chance it's going to. Very good chance it's going to. There's a solid chance that whoever the fuck was responsible for this big move right here, they already got out. there's a very good chance that they got out in here. This may have been them getting out. And this thing still, because it went up over 20% today, was interesting to people, and they wanted to get back in it. It started trending back up heading into the end of the day. So more people got in it. And now, at the close of after hours, it's up higher than when it closed. That's always a good sign. But hopefully this dickhead who did that and made money doesn't come in at 7 o'clock tomorrow and short the fuck out of it. It would suck. But still, either way, the loss that I accrued, and because I cut my losses, because I was smart enough to say, nope, that's enough. I'm not letting that one ride to zero. I'm not letting it go. Because that, I mean, it didn't make sense to do that. But because I have my eyes elsewhere on other plays, I made back more today than what I lost there because of this one. Um, I'm over net neutral. I'm like over where I started, which is good. You always want to end every day if you can, even if it's fucking $5, $10 more than what you started with. It's better than being in the negative. So hopefully this has a big day tomorrow. I hope. That would be lovely. I really, really need that to happen. But keep your eyes on other shit. I know AMC is becoming profitable again, but it is not by any means a normal stock. It never has been. And you've witnessed firsthand the type of manipulation that can happen in this thing. And until this thing, you know, has like a collective, well, the 4 green days was great. 2 red days, no big deal. It's seemingly normal. But I'd say until there's like 2 solid weeks of normalcy, like this, there's going to be shorting, whatever, but as long as there's opportunities where it's stepping up and you're seeing buying pressure, and again, the options are profitable. I bought an option at the end of the day, the very end of the day, like right in here, I bought one. And by close, it was in the green. Why? Because there was a huge volatile push right into like the last 40 seconds of the day. So that's how these options should respond. Option contracts are supposed to respond to sharp, volatile movements. Not, slow upward movements help too. They help, steadily base it, and they give you more solidified gain. Like it would take a lot to drop it. When it goes up slow, you kind of base more of a solidified gain in your volume and shit, and more contracts being open. But this is how a contract, the one that I bought at the end of the day, should respond. It should. It's literally one that expires tomorrow. It is a just in case tomorrow morning opens up and has a great fucking day. Because it may have a good day overall. I know they're going to fight us, but we still may end up green. And I don't think they're going to open up and kick us down to 31. I don't think. I think they're going to be way more concerned with using what they have to keep it under 35. But that still gives me, enough movement in the morning to hopefully maybe they'll let it run up to 36 or something before they start fucking with it or something. I don't know what they got going on. And if that's the case, that was a great play. It'll end up being a great play. But, it might shit out. And if it shits out, not a big deal because it wasn't a lot of money and it was only one contract. But I think that's the safest way to be playing AMC is, a contract, maybe 2, depending on how much they cost. And you just need to make sure you are aware and ready when the bell goes off to get rid of that bitch within 60 seconds if need be. Within the first 60 seconds, just if need be. So just again, the fact that we can make money in the stock is what's really important. The fact that you can actually turn a profit in AMC is super important. And that bodes really well that I bought a contract up here, and at a lower price, but with the sharper movement, it's in the positive. Obviously not by much, but still, it is in the positive at close. And then the fact that the other contracts I've gotten, like yesterday and shit, it's still showing volatility in it. It still has value. It's not completely dead, even though I think I got that one that expires next Friday at like 36 or maybe just under 36. I don't remember exactly where I got it, but for a $3 drop-ish maybe, to still have value in it, that's good. These are good signs. Good signs for this, being a stable environment again to make money. That's what we need. That's what we want to see. That's what I'm trying to chart and document and make sure is going on. And then, of course, when I see fucking, silly shit, and I think there's going to be a move like this, I'll talk about it, or I'll venture a guess that that's what they're going to do. But we already know they want to keep this under 35 tomorrow. Most definitely. If they can keep it under 34, awesome. They'll be happy with that too. But they definitely want to keep it under 35. That's the primary fucking goal. So I guess we'll see coming out the gate how much ammo they have. I would very, very much imagine that if they come out the gate and they kick it down like the 31, they probably have more than enough ammo to keep us under 35 for the day. If it comes out the gate and they allow it to go up and see what it's doing or where it's going to go, I would say that they are being very conservative, and they have to save a lot of the firepower they have to try to probably maybe pull one of these things again, just to keep it, let it base around 35. Let it go up and get close so you're not wasting shorts, and then chip at it. Maybe make a big move to maybe scare some people or stall them so you can kind of control it again. But I think there's going to be a lot of people fighting tomorrow. I do. I think on our side, there's going to be a lot of people fighting to get this to 35. I feel like people are starting to understand, starting to notice, especially with the consolidation of the options chain. The ones that are like, what happened to the 145s? Where'd they go? I wanted to get some more. And then they had to go watch a video that said, hey, all you dumb fucks that bought the 145s have fucked everything up in the options chain. So now it's consolidated, and this is what you should be doing. So hopefully they stumbled across the video like that. But aside from that, I'm going to post this. Sorry, I didn't want it to be so long, but I do want it to be long because I don't fucking know if I'm going to be able to even upload this without my laptop blowing up. So go walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes. That's what you should do. When you watch my videos, you should do something like walk on the treadmill. That way you're burning off some calories, getting some exercise, getting some blood flowing, and getting, some knowledge, my take on some things. It was a good way to spend 30 minutes. All right, I'm out.